Thank you for tuning in to the Press Play Podcast Thunder Edition. I'm your host, Katlyn, and with me I have basketball analyst and current OC basketball player Ryan Leach as my co-host.
How you doing, Katlyn? It's great to be here. Let's talk basketball. Let's get straight to it.
Welcome, and thank you for joining me. Today we will be discussing the rebuilding of the Thunder team, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, and much more. The Thunder are currently 2-4. 5th in the Northwest Division, and ranked 11th in the Western Conference. So, Ryan, do you see the Thunder making playoffs this season?
Absolutely no chance, Katlyn. And honestly, I don't think the playoffs is a goal for the Thunder. I think Sam Presti understands this is a rebuild, and the playoffs shouldn't be the goal. The goal is the long term at this point, Katlyn. Let's get young players, let's get draft picks, and let's see who we need to focus on going forward.
Why do you think that Russell Westbrook and Paul George were never able to put it together in the playoffs?
Honestly, I don't think it's about Russell Westbrook and Paul George. And Thunder fans, I think we all need to ask this question honestly. Is Billy Donovan the guy for this job? I mean, the first year he was here, he did go to the conference finals, but that was with a crazy, amazing team. And conference finals was honestly a letdown. That team had enough pieces to go all the way to the finals and maybe even win it. Billy Donovan since then has had 3 straight first-round exits. I don't think it was about Paul George and Russell Westbrook. I think this is a coaching issue at the end of the day, Katlyn.
Who would you put in his place then?
It's a lot of candidates out there. You got Ty Lue, assistant coach on the Lakers. I think he would be a good spot. You also got some young college coaches that are hungry for a spot. You got some assistants out there too. I think you just got to look across the board and see. But so far, Billy Donovan's been here for 4 years, and Sam Presti hasn't said anything about it. Looks like he's the guy going forward.
How do you feel about the way Paul George left the Thunder?
Honestly, I didn't like it. You just committed to a contract here. You signed a 4-year contract, and after the first year, you're ready to go. I just don't see the good part in that, Katlyn. You made a commitment to the team to stick it out for better or for worse. You're supposed to be the guy, and you ask for a trade. I don't think that's how you do things.
Do you think Paul George will win a ring with the Clippers?
Him and Kawhi are a talented duo. If they don't win a ring, it's honestly a tragedy. I don't know if they'll get it this year because the Lakers are looking good. LeBron and AD are doing their thing. That's my prediction to win. But next year and the years upcoming, I think the Clippers will have many rings.
Are you a fan of the OKC Thunder?
Personally, no. I'm from Houston, so I'm a Rockets fan. And I'm a LeBron James fan, so I'm naturally going to be a fan of the Lakers.
How do you feel about the new team lineup this year for the Thunder?
It's a lot to like about this lineup, to be honest. For a rebuilding team, this team has got some talent, Katlyn. You got Chris Paul at the point guard, and you got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at the 2 guard. That's a veteran-savvy point guard that can mentor young Shai Gilgeous and mold him into the player he needs to be. Then you got Gallinari at the 3, and you got Steven Adams at the center position. You also got Terrence Ferguson shooting the pill out there. This is a young, talented team that could do something.
What do you think they need to do to make this a successful rebuild?
Honestly, they need to first trade Chris Paul and get as much as they can back for him. Chris Paul on this team, I don't think it's not a good fit, and it's not what they need to do going forward. If you're the Thunder, stockpiling as many high draft picks or draft picks, period, should be the goal of this season. Sam Presti needs to look forward to the future, get young prospect, get draft picks, and if they can do that, I think this will be a very successful season. Also, if they show a lot of promise out of the young guys. Shai Gilgeous, as I stated before, has been on an incredible run, and he's showing a lot of promise. Terrence Ferguson, I need him to pick it up. It's maybe this is 3rd or 4th year, I believe, and he's not showing the promise that a lot of people have when we picked him in the lottery. I think he needs to step it up and show some promise for this to really be a successful season for them.
Westbrook had been with the OKC Thunder since the beginning of the franchise in 2008 and helped build the Thunder to what it is today. Do you think that was a smart move on the Thunder's part for him to be traded to the Houston Rockets?
It was a great move, Katlyn. And did they really have any choice? Paul George got traded. You know Russell Westbrook wants to be on a contender. He wants a ring, Katlyn. And this young rebuilding Thunder team, this is not a team he wants to be a part of, Katlyn. He doesn't want to be the only player. He's getting up there in age, Katlyn, and I think it's time for him to look to get a ring. That was the best thing for both parties. Russell Westbrook goes to a contender, and the Thunder get 2 first-round draft picks, which they need for Chris Paul, for Russell Westbrook.
Let's take a second and switch teams and talk about Westbrook on the Rockets. Do you think the chemistry is still the same between Harden or Westbrook, or do you think it's different? I'm sure it is hard adjusting to a new team when you've been a star player for your original team and have to now share the spotlight with a player like Harden.
Yes. At the end of the day, these two are buds. We know that. But it was very different when they were first together. James Harden was a third option off the bench. This time it's flipped. James Harden is going to be the lead option, and Russell Westbrook is going to have to take a back seat. He's going to have to sit in that passenger seat and let James Harden do his thing and be ready to take over anytime when James Harden's off the court or when it's Russell Westbrook's turn.
Do you think Westbrook will ever return home to the OKC Thunder?
I mean, it's always a possibility. You feel me? Maybe for the next 5 years, I say no. But when it's time to retire, that last couple of years in his league, you never know, he could retire Thunder. He's always going to be an OKC legend, and they're always going to have love for him. If he wants to retire, I think it's their possibility for him.
I just want to take the time to thank Westbrook for what he accomplished here in OKC. It was a joy to watch him grow and now play for another team. It is sad, but I believe he will continue to grow and improve as a player because he does deserve a championship. Westbrook was the 2017 NBA Most Valuable Player, an 8-time NBA All-Star, 2-time NBA All-Star Game Most Valuable Player for the years 2015 and 2016, and in 2009, he received the NBA All-Rookie Team Award. These are just a few of the awards he has achieved. Now let's switch gears back to the Thunder and talk about our new key player, Chris Paul. How do you feel about Chris Paul being on the Thunder?
Honestly, I don't like Chris Paul and the Thunder one bit. He wants to go to a contending team and have a chance at a ring that he's been so longingly after. The Thunder is not the team for that, Katlyn. As we stated before previously, this is a rebuilding stage for the Thunder. Now, if the Thunder can flip Chris Paul before the trade deadline in February, that's the best option for them at this point. Chris Paul cannot remain on this team for the whole year. If that is, I will see this season as a failure for Chris Paul and the Thunder for failing to trade him. They honestly just need to get the best parts they can for him. A first-round draft pick would be nice. Anything at this point.
What do the Thunder need to do to get back to being a championship contender?
As I stated before, Thunder fans in the office need to realize this is going to take time before they get back to that championship contender. Right now, stay the course. Y'all did good with all these trades so far. Stay the course. Don't get impatient. Stay patient and understand this is going to take time. Acquire as many young players and draft picks as possible. Find the young core you want, focus in on them, and acquire pieces around that young core to build something special. They already got something good right now. They got a lot of draft picks. They got some young players. Now let's build around them. Let's get this team turned around.
Thunder's small forward Terrence Ferguson mentioned to the media, quote, "We're still the Thunder at the end of the day. The team name didn't change just because he left," end quote. How do you feel about that statement?
I don't have a problem with this statement. And if you have a problem with this statement, you need to question, are you a Thunder fan or are you a Russell Westbrook fan? You should feel the same way he does. Russell Westbrook was a great part of this organization. He's a legend, but he's gone now. It's time to flip the page and get ready for the next chapter.
Chris Paul is the highest paid player on the team. He originally played in OKC when we hosted the Hornets for a while, and now he is back playing for OKC again. Do you think he deserves to be the highest paid player on the team?
Honestly, I don't think this is something we need to be focused on. The Thunder didn't give Chris Paul his contract. The Rockets did. The Thunder just traded for him, and the Thunder have no intention of keeping Chris Paul long term. So at the end of the day, they just got Chris Paul to trade him. So the contract isn't something we should be worried about.
How has Chris Paul's performance changed or improved since coming back to OKC?
Well, when he was first in OKC, Chris Paul was that dude. One of the best point guards in the league, an all-star. Now, no offense to Chris Paul, but he's way off from that, and I think he knows that. Right now, I just think he needs to be a veteran leader on the team, and while he's here, try to improve as much as he can, get his trade value up, and the better trade value it is, the better team he could go to, and the more the Thunder can get for him, best of both worlds.
Who should we be looking at to trade for Chris Paul?
Honestly, any young player or any young draft picks we can get for him. I heard the Miami Heat might be interested. If you could get a player like Tyler Hero, that would be amazing, or Kendrick Nunn. But I doubt the Heat would want to give up one of those players. Maybe Bam Adebayo. They have a nice young core over there. and it would be hard for them to keep all of them. If the Heat really do want Chris Paul like they're saying, then the Thunder have a selection of players they could get for him.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander plays guard for the OKC Thunder. This is his second year in the NBA and his first year on the OKC Thunder. How do you think he fits in on the team coming from the LA Clippers?
Straight bucket, man. Thunder fans, this is a player y'all need to get excited about. I followed him in Kentucky, and this guy is a stud. He's got everything you want in a young point guard. Vision, IQ, handles. He's the next great OKC point guard, and he's going to lead this team to something special. Front office, you see you got something special? Let's build around this young guy. Let's get the team set and let him take off and go.
Does he have a future here in OKC, or will he be traded again?
If Sam Presti trades this man, fire this man on spot, Katlyn. I'll say it one more time for the folks out here in the back. If they trade this man, Shai Gilgeous, fire Sam Presti on spot, Katlyn. This is the future point guard of the Thunder. They need to do whatever they can to invest in this young man. He is something special.
Could Shai be the next Westbrook for OKC?
Most definitely. I see a bright future in Shai. Multiple All-Stars. He's going to be a great player, though, lead this team back to stardom.
Thank you for coming on Press Play Podcast Thunder Edition today, Ryan. It was a pleasure to have you and to listen to your insights on the OKC Thunder and their past and current players.
Always great to talk hoops with you, Katlyn. Let's do it again sometime.
Yes, we absolutely need to do this again. Also, I want to thank you, audience, for tuning in as well. Make sure to catch the next Thunder game this Saturday, November 9th, as they compete against Golden State again at 7 p.m. It will be a home game, so let's cheer on the Thunder for another win.
Let's get it.